So let's look at another case here. Let's imagine that we've got a U-shaped tube and I pour liquid mercury into it. And then on one side, I pour water. Now what happens is the water here is going to exert a force. The weight of the water is going to push down the mercury here. And so what's going to happen is that it's going to adjust. So you end up with the mercury level being like that. So this will be the water right there. This will be the mercury down here. And there's going to be a difference, delta Y, between the level of the mercury on one side and the level of the water on the other side. That's because the pressure due to all this water has to be the same as the pressure due to that amount of mercury right there. And so the question is, what is that delta Y? Okay, so how do we figure that out? Well, first of all, we look at it and say, okay, so we've got this U-shaped thing here, okay, and we know that we've got water here, and we know that we got mercury all the way through here. And so this little bit of mercury right here has to have the same pressure as that amount of water, because this all has to be the same pressure. Does it make sense? So we can call this, Y1, call that Y2. Okay, and so the delta Y will be Y2 minus Y1. So that means that the pressure here, P1, has to equal P2. So rho of mercury times G times Y1 has to equal the rho of the water, okay, H2O times G times Y2. Okay. All right. So the G's cancel here. Okay. And so what we find here is that Y2 is going to be rho of the mercury divided by rho of the water times Y1. Okay. So what we had was that the Y2 was rho of mercury over rho of the water times Y1. We could have rewritten that as Y1 equals rho water over rho mercury, Y2. Okay, so the difference in Y is Y2 minus Y1. So that's going to be Y2 minus rho of water over rho of mercury times Y2. Or in other words, it's going to be equal to Y2 times 1 minus rho of water over rho of mercury. So it depends. The delta Y depends on how much water we put in. The more water we put in, the bigger the delta Y is going to be. So it's going to be a percentage of this. So delta Y is going to be 1 minus, and the rho of water, that is 1,000 kilograms per cubic meter. The rho of mercury, you got to look up mercury. So mercury is 13,600 kilograms per cubic meter, okay, times Y2. So delta Y is going to be equal to, you just have to multiply, you just have to work that out. So that comes out to be 0.926 Y2. Okay, so in other words, the delta Y is 92.6 the percent of Y2. So that means that 92 I mean that only a very small difference is in there. So again, the more water you put in, the bigger the difference, but the percentage difference between the amount of water you put in and what the difference is remains the same.